they have posted who's your San Juan, Puerto Rico MVP. And these are the candidates: Paige Bueckers, Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese, what? Ryan Howard. I can see Howard being in the mix here because her scoring has been lights out. Jackie Young, and then a bunch of other players down here. And all I can tell you is I don't know what happened because I went over.
Look at those numbers. Paige Bueckers went from trailing by 3,000 votes to suddenly leading by a massive margin in less than 15 minutes. And the person analyzing this isn't some random fan with an agenda. They're looking at the actual vote counts in real time, watching the numbers jump in ways that don't make mathematical sense for organic voting patterns. This is FIBA's official fan vote for MVP of the Puerto Rico qualifying tournament. And what should have been a straightforward popularity contest has turned into something that's raising serious questions about vote manipulation, bot armies, and whether the Yukon Mafia is willing to artificially inflate numbers to get their player recognized.
Caitlin Clark was running away with this joker. And then all of a sudden, this happened. I don't have any idea how Paige Bueckers got this many votes this quickly. And by the way, this was actually a wider spread for a little while. But Caitlin Clark and her fans are catching her up right now. But this was a pretty wide margin when I...
Now watch what happens in the comments section. This is where it gets telling. The ratio of pro-Caitlin Clark comments to pro-Paige Bueckers comments is running about 15-1 or 20-1, meaning the actual engaged fans, the people taking time to write comments, not just click a vote button, are overwhelmingly supporting Clark and questioning the vote count. That disconnect is significant. If Bueckers genuinely had this massive voting surge from real fans, you'd expect to see those same fans flooding the comments defending her, celebrating her performance, making the case for why she deserves MVP. Instead, the comments are dominated by people calling out the suspicious vote pattern and pointing to potential bot manipulation.
Emma, the Yukon Mafia, guys, we've talked about them. I mean, the agenda is once again thick. It's real thick right now. I mean, you look down through here, and it is hilarious. All of the pro Caitlin Clark comment.
FIBA included a disclaimer on this poll that's worth examining. It states clearly that this fan vote is not an official statement from FIBA, which raises the question, why run an official poll on your official platform if you're going to immediately disclaim any responsibility for its integrity? That disclaimer reads like legal protection. It's FIBA saying, we're not actually vouching for these results, so don't blame us if something fishy happens. Which is a strange position to take unless you already know your voting system is vulnerable to manipulation and you don't want to invest the resources to fix it. The system allows unlimited voting. You can vote, refresh the page, vote again, repeat indefinitely. There's no human verification, no daily vote limits, no CAPTCHA to prevent bot activity. It's essentially designed to be gamed by whoever has the technical capability and willingness to deploy automated voting.
FIBA's been unserious this whole tournament, from commentary to this fake voting system. Disclaimer, this fan vote is not an official statement from FIBA, meaning that there's going to be no responsibility if any foolishness goes down. Is that what we're doing here? Caitlin Clark is leading Team USA in points, assists, plus minus efficiency. She's killing it. She's killing it right now. I mean, FIBA, you need to take this down. Both bases are behind.
Here's what makes this particularly suspicious when you look at the broader context. The Dallas Wings, where Paige Bueckers plays, had attendance issues throughout the season. Multiple games did not sell out. The arena wasn't consistently full even during important matchups. Compare that to Caitlin Clark, who drove unprecedented attendance everywhere she played. Sold-out arenas, record television ratings, massive social media engagement. The Indiana Fever became the hottest ticket in women's basketball, specifically because of her presence. So we're supposed to believe that Bueckers, who couldn't consistently fill her home arena during the WNBA season, suddenly has a passionate fan base large enough to overcome a 3,000 vote deficit in 15 minutes during a FIBA qualifying tournament? The math doesn't math.
That's not legit. That's not legit, folks. That's a shame. You're talking about, and yeah, y'all need human verification and daily vote limits, gang, at FIBA. They're not going to go to that trouble, I don't believe. I mean, is there a way that they can get in there and find out if the votes are legit? If they've got a good IT team? Yes, absolutely. They could determine whether or not they were the vote is being artificially inflated. Never underestimate the agenda. Never underestimate the Yukon mob.
Multiple people in the comments are referencing something specific, a TikTok fandom bot army associated with Paige Bueckers supporters. Now, whether that's accurate or just speculation, the fact that it's a widespread theory tells you something about the reputation that's been established. This isn't the first time questions have been raised about artificial inflation of support for Yukon-affiliated players. The Yukon Mafia isn't just a cute nickname. It refers to a perceived network of media members, former players, and hardcore fans who actively promote Yukon players and push narratives that benefit the program's interests. When Gino Auriemma's name comes up in these discussions, it's because he's the center of that network. The coach who's built not just a basketball dynasty, but a media ecosystem that consistently elevates his players regardless of their actual performance relative to competitors.
To give this thing the one ass eye. This seems fishy. It seems weird that Caitlyn was running away with this thing. And then all of a sudden, what happened exactly? It doesn't make sense. It doesn't.
So let's talk about what we're actually witnessing here and why it matters beyond just one meaningless fan vote for a qualifying tournament MVP. This is about credibility. This is about the growing perception that certain players and certain programs get artificial boosts, whether through media coverage, award voting, or in this case, online polls, that don't reflect actual performance or genuine fan support. Caitlin Clark's statistical dominance in this tournament isn't debatable. She's leading the team in every major category. She's been the best player on the court. If this were purely about performance, there wouldn't be a conversation. But it's never purely about performance when the Yukon network gets involved. The bot accusation matters because it fits a pattern. When you can't win organically, you manufacture the appearance of winning. When you can't generate genuine fan enthusiasm, you create artificial metrics that suggest enthusiasm exists. It's the same playbook that's been used in media narratives for years, just applied to a different platform. Think about what a competent IT team could determine if FIBA actually wanted to investigate this. They could track IP addresses. They could identify voting patterns that indicate automated behavior. They could see if thousands of votes came from the same source in rapid succession. They could verify whether these were real human beings or scripted bots cycling through proxy servers. But here's the thing. FIBA already told you they're not going to do that. That disclaimer isn't there by accident. It's there because they know the system is exploitable and they've decided they don't care enough to fix it. It's easier to run a poll that generates engagement and traffic, slap a disclaimer on it, and let whatever happens happen. The oceanfront property in Arizona line is perfect because that's exactly what this vote result feels like. Someone's trying to sell you something that doesn't exist. They're showing you numbers and hoping you won't ask the obvious questions about how those numbers were generated. What's particularly frustrating is that this undermines legitimate accomplishments. If Paige Bueckers has a great tournament and genuinely deserves recognition, this controversy taints that. If her fans are actually showing up and voting in huge numbers organically, the suspicious pattern makes people doubt that. The bot accusations, whether proven or not, cast a shadow over everything. But that's what happens when you build a system with no safeguards and no accountability. You create an environment where manipulation is not just possible, but easy. And when manipulation is easy, people who want a specific outcome badly enough will take advantage of that. The contrast between the comment section and the vote count tells the real story. Real engagement People taking time to write thoughts, make arguments, express opinions, overwhelmingly favors Clark and questions the vote integrity. Fake engagement, mindless clicking that can be automated, suddenly swings to Bueckers. That's not a coincidence. This connects to a bigger issue in women's basketball right now. There's a war happening between organic growth driven by genuine fan interest and artificial narratives pushed by established power structures. Caitlin Clark represents the former, a player who generated unprecedented attention through undeniable talent and compelling play. The Yukon network represents the latter, an establishment that's used to controlling the narrative and doesn't like when someone outside their system threatens that control. Every time something like this happens, it reinforces the perception that certain players can't compete on a level playing field. They need the thumb on the scale, they need the media boost, they need the bot votes. Because when it's just about basketball and genuine fan support, they come up short. And look, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe there's a perfectly innocent explanation for 7,000 votes materializing in 5 minutes. Maybe Paige Bueckers really does have this massive, passionate international fan base that just happened to all show up at the exact same moment to vote in a FIBA qualifying tournament poll. Maybe the comment section ratio is just a weird fluke that doesn't reflect the actual voting population. But come on, we all know what this looks like. We all know what the most likely explanation is, and the fact that FIBA won't investigate, can't investigate, or doesn't care enough to investigate tells you they know it too. So here's my question for you. Does this kind of thing even matter? It's just a fan vote for a qualifying tournament. No real stakes, no actual impact on who makes the World Cup team or who gets playing time. Is it worth getting worked up about obvious vote manipulation when the poll itself is meaningless? I'd argue yes, because it's not really about this specific poll. It's about the pattern. It's about the willingness to manufacture support rather than earn it. It's about the credibility gap that grows every time something like this happens and nothing is done about it. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Let me know if you think I'm reading too much into this or if you see the same red flags I'm seeing.